Hello internet friends, my name is Catherine and I'm the human behind Creation Miss Couture, and today is Vlogmas day number 8 and we are going to do a crushed candy cane inspired colors, and it's going to be just cathartic because it's just like yes, this is how I describe speckling. So it's a full-on speckle episode, and for small business not really small business, but anyways, yes, it's a small business. It's me. I'm the small business. So it's just to give you an example of things. So I have those stickers in stock. So we have the crochet and the knit version. I will have a link in the description box below if you are interested. However, you do not have to buy from me. Stickers are super fun stocking stuffers that you can incorporate. And they're usually inexpensive depending on what you are purchasing. So this is just an idea. You don't have to buy from me. I just wanted to share you that there is some inspired stickers, and I just happen to have those ones because the other stickers I have are on my sewing machine. So it's a little bit harder to show you. I could probably do a way to show you. Okay, I will find a way to show you. But let's get into this. So here I have, they no longer do anything, but we have Red Door Fiber. This one is from Explorer Knit Fibers. I have this one from Leo and Roxy. I have this one from Long Dog Yarn. I understand why she made that pun because, yeah. So this is the cover for my sewing machine. So I know it looks like I'm going to be doing some stock solution. However, today is going to be slightly different in our way to do my winter collection. We're going to do brand new colors. So this year I'm adding a few new colors to the lineup, and this will be crushed candy cane. So I'm just going to be speckling those two colors. So I just wanted to say hi. We're still working on my winter collection, and we're just gonna go directly into the pan now. See you there. So the first thing I'm going to do is add my citric acid, and since it's speckling, I'm going to be adding a tiny bit more than what I'm usually doing. So usually for 1 pound, so 454 grams of yarn, I would be adding 1 tablespoon. But since I'm only doing speckle, I'm going to double that quantity, and I'm going to go for 8 cups of tap water instead of my regular 4 cups, because there's going to be no other colors other than the speckles. So I just want to make sure that I have a high level of acidity in the water so that the color, like the speckle, will strike faster. And I'm going to turn on the heat now so that I can, same thing, it's to help the color to strike faster to the yarn because we have speckles. And here. There we go. And I just want to make sure that I squish the yarn together to make sure that there's not like much space between the skeins, so that we won't have pocket of color accumulating between the skeins. Okay, perfect. So now I'm going to grab my gloves. And one more thing. What do you think we need to grab before opening the dry powder jars? If your answer was a respirator because we only have 1 pair of lungs and we need to protect them, you are correct, my friends. So PPE is very important. So let's grab the respirator. And now that we protect our lungs, because those are very fine particles and we don't want to breathe them. So we need to make sure that we are protecting them. And I'm going to go very lightly with the colors because they do have a tendency to spread. And I don't necessarily want them to be spreading too much. So when you're doing speckling, always make sure that your fingers stay together, so that way you won't have excessive clumps of dried powder at the same spot. Perfect. So that's for that one. Now we're going to do the green one. And I go very lightly because this is also a color that likes to spread, and I don't want for it to spread too much. And the same thing, we want to make sure that we are keeping our fingers together and they rub like this. Just like is it a cicada that does that? I don't remember which insect does something like this movement. Now that the powder is no longer in the powder form, I can remove my respirator. And we just have to wait a tiny bit for the water to reach the right temperature. But I can already see here some bubbles forming. So I'm just going to lower right now the temperature on here so that it doesn't go too hot. Because we need to reach a temperature between 85 to 95 Celsius. So it is below the boiling point. So yes. So now we're going to wait 30 minutes, let it cook, and we're going to come back to see if we have any pockets of color that are remaining. And if we do, we're just going to let it settle another 5 to 10 minutes before turning off the heat. So I will see you there. Okay, so I'm not going to touch it. It's been more than 30 minutes. I'm going to turn off the heat, and we're going to let it completely cool off before washing off any excess dye, especially since we've been speckling. And with speckles, like I mentioned before, sometimes you have some dry powder clumps in little pockets over here and there, so we're just going to be making sure that we are removing those. So I will see you when we're doing that. Okay, let's wash off the excess dye from our crushed candy cane color. So this one I'm going to be very careful because I don't want to have, see, no colors. Yee-hee. Because I don't want to have, I don't want the white to become pink. So I'm very careful when it comes to washing off excess dye like this, because we have a lot of white, because this is what I want. But I think we're going to be good, and I don't think we're going to have any color transfer. So I'm going to let this soak for like 10 minutes, and we're going to come back to check on it. Okay. And there is absolutely no color. This is fantastic. So I'm going to put this in my spin dryer, and I'm going to let it dry overnight, so we will be able to see the final result tomorrow morning. And here's the final result for crushed candy cane, and I think I've crushed it. Sorry for the bad joke. I'm sorry. I will try to avoid doing this again in the future. So with the crushed candy cane, what I found very important was to have the color not muddled too much. So this is why I've put more citric acid than I would normally do, and I started the heat a little higher than I would, because I wanted the color to strike as much as possible so we wouldn't have splotches of speckles, but actual speckles. So yes, we have some that spread a little bit for the evergreen tree. Why did I say that? Emerald green over here. So this is normal because greens do have a tendency to spread. Same thing with the reds. They do have a tendency to spread a little bit, but this is why we set up our work for success. And this is how we've done it. So this is what we have here. I'm very pleased with it. I hope you are too. And I hope you've liked the video. And if you did, please consider sharing, liking, and subscribing. And I will see you next one very soon. Bye!